All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Trash on the Stack. You know us, you love us, you hate us. Good. Any publicity is good publicity, right? So
comments are comments.
Today was the big official preview of Bloomburrow. If you haven't seen the video on the official Magic the Gathering YouTube channel, highly suggest it. It's got a pretty decent video that accompanies it, and even I, who don't love the art of the set necessarily, or the furry, whimsical nature of it, was pretty impressed. We wanted to do a quick follow-up video to our Bloomburrow so far podcast and video, and just cover some of the new cards that came out today, some of the new mechanics that they talked about, to make sure that you, our base of loyal fans, are up to date with everything that is Magic, everything is Bloomburrow. Yeah. So we do finally have the face commanders for the commander decks that are part of the set. First up, for our peace offering, our group hug deck, we have Rabbit Citizen, Miss Bumbleflower. These names are all right. Miss Bumbleflower. Mm-hmm. So it is a 4 CMC, so 1 green, white, blue, legendary creature with vigilance. It is a 1/5. And has, whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until end of turn. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, you draw 2 cards. Very group hug.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're building up your board.
Yeah, I mean, so I like that it's
punch through.
Miss Bumbleflower's got a butt. Right, 1/5. That's going to be good. Yeah, I mean, very, very flavor specific to the deck. I think that's going to be.
I'm going to mispronounce that name.
Pretty neat. Yeah. In our Golgari Squirrel deck, Hazel of the Root Bloom. So we've got a 2, a black and a green legendary creature, Squirrel Druid. Has tap, pay 2 life, tap X untapped tokens you control. Add X mana in any combination of colors. The token piece is nice that it's not squirrel specific, because the squirrel tribe, if you will, or guild or area of the village, whatever it is going to be very food token centric as well.
They have a new mechanic, forage.
Yeah. That looks like it could be pretty cool.
Heavy food token.
Yeah, in my last video, I complained that they weren't doing anything new with Magic and only updating it with cutesy artwork for cards that do the same thing. Right. Sadly mistaken, as I often am. Hazel also has, at the beginning of your end step, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. If that token is a squirrel, instead create 2 tokens that are copies of it. And a 3/5 as well. I mean, for being cutesy little creatures, they got some booty. Yeah. So far, anyway.
They're pretty big.
Yeah.
Where it counts.
Where it counts, yes. Our Family Matters Jeskai deck, we've got Zinnia, Valley's Voice. So blue, red, white, legendary creature, bird, bard. Has flying. Zinnia, Valley's Voice gets +X/+0, where X is the number of other creatures you control with base power 1. Creature spells you cast have Offspring 2, so another new mechanic. You may pay an additional 2 as you cast a creature spell. If you do that, token or that creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. I think the Offspring mechanic is kind of neat, honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of like Squad. I think it was Squad.
Yeah.
In the Warhammer.
Yep.
But I think, I don't know, there's some of the things that I've seen that have the Offspring can get pretty ridiculous.
You can abuse it pretty well.
If you have the token doubling stuff.
Yep.
It can be insane. Like this with Mondrak or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or just Parallel Lives. Well, not Parallel Lives. What's the other one? Anointed Procession.
Anointed Procession. Nope. Yep. Yeah, you're gonna be making Offspring everywhere.
Yeah. Get your kids.
I'm so excited for the raccoons.
This is so
watching
great.
the video earlier, a couple of the cards that we'll go over, I was like, oh my gosh, David's building raccoons. Never thought I would do it. I'm going to have to buy some of the set now.
This is great.
Bellow, Bard of the Brambles. 1 red, green, legendary creature, raccoon bard. During your turn, each non-equipment artifact and non-aura enchantment you control with mana value 4 or greater is a 4/4 elemental creature. In addition to its other types, and has indestructible haste, and whenever this creature deals combat to a player, draw a card. Pretty decent.
Amazing.
I'm most excited for the raccoons, I think, in this set.
There's another one in there that I'm real excited about.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, all these usually when they come out with a new set, there's at least one commander deck where I'm like, definitely not going to buy this one. This one for me may be a whole commander deck set purchase because I
was kind of worried about the group hug one, but I think that one, it's gonna be some beats.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty solid.
Yeah, quite solid.
And in terms of the new cards released, they're all out on Scryfall, so you should go check out Scryfall. You can see all the previews there. We'll just touch on a couple of them that look pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited about the Calamity Beast specifically. A few of those spoiled cards seem like they'll obviously be good. They're kind of the fatties in the set, I will say, but also very flavor specific, both from an artwork perspective and kind of what they do. You've got kind of these cutesy little creatures that have banded together, and the whole set is about banding together to like get big things done, right? And then your Calamity Beasts are like natural predators, I would say, from what I've seen so far. Like you've got big cats and cool owls that scoop up mice and stuff like that, right? So Yigra, Eater of All, is a 3 black-green legendary creature elemental cat. Has ward, sacrifice of food, which should be easy to do in this set, especially if you're a squirrel. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of food. Other creatures are food artifacts in addition to their other types, and have 2 tap, sacrifice is permanent, you gain 3 life, so your normal food mechanic. Whenever a food is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put 2 1/1 counters on Yigra, Eater of All.
So this is going to get big no matter what you do.
It's going to get big no matter what.
Because you have to sacrifice a food. It turns all your opponent's creatures into food. So yeah, they can sacrifice a creature to deal with it, but it can get bigger. You can just...
Yeah. Plus, the whole artifact food creature thing, what was the most recent set that did that? Was that Wilds of Eldraine that had like gingerbread men type creatures, food artifact golems and stuff like that? And it's not too many sets back, right? So I think Wizards of the Coast is probably realizing as you build commander decks, you're not necessarily have brand new cards and then stuff from 7th edition, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep the mechanics that play well together closer together, which makes a lot of sense to me.
So another card, it's not a Calamity Beast, but I really like it. Warren War Leader, 2 white, Rabbit Knight. It's a 4/4, has Offspring 2. So when it enters, you can pay 2 and make a 1/1 copy of it. And it has, whenever you attack, choose 1. Create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token that's tapped and attacking, or attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I loved Hero of Bladehold when it came out in Scars of Mirrodin. I made like a red-white deck that was just Hero of Bladehold and just punching face. This reminds me of Hero of Bladehold, because you can make you could essentially make 2 1/1 tapped and attacking rabbits, or you can give your attacking creatures +1/+1. So he could become a 6/6. Your 1/1 that comes in could become a 3/3. So, because it's not other creatures, it pumps itself when it attacks. I'm excited.
And I think that one's going to be sweet. And
the tokens, like they had made tokens for the Offspring thing, and some of those are like
they're pretty cool,
wicked cute.
I feel like white. This may be a common thought or a controversial one, but white needs all the help it can get in my mind anyway. Maybe it's just me that can't build mono white very easily. Think it's you. Okay, it's just me. That's fine. This will help me build mono white.
Mono white is getting stronger. Yeah, it used to be pretty bad, but they've been there's been a lot of support in recent sets for it. Yeah. And this guy's a knight, so it can go in knight decks.
Right.
So they've been working.
So not necessarily a specific card, there's many cards, but one of the new mechanics is gift a card concept. So the gift a card concept effectively gets you more if you give a gift to an opponent, if you will, right? So an example of that is Wear Down has Destroy Target Artifact or Enchantment. If a gift was promised, instead destroy two artifacts or enchantments. And there's a couple other in that video that you'll see if you go out and watch it, like we asked you to. A couple of other cards that are going to use that gift mechanic, right? Where you like gift a fish, which seems silly, but obviously super flavor specific.
Seems pretty cool.
I like the concept. I think that concept is a very group huggy type mechanic, right? Like if I put good out into the world, good comes back. It's what the gift mechanic reminds me of, right?
You're giving your opponents resources in the hopes that they let you use yours.
Right. Yep. Parting Gust is another one. White gift a tapped fish.
Yep.
So 1/1 blue fish creature. Exile non-token creature. If the gift wasn't promised, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter at the beginning of the next step. So there's also different outcome if you promise a gift and don't give it. So exile target non-token creature. If the gift wasn't promised, return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Which I think is kind of interesting. It's a fun new mechanic. I'm glad maybe Wizards saw our video in the last 2 days and was like, oh crap, we need to design a bunch of cards that are different because
real quick,
David from Trash on the Stack thinks we need to break the pie.
This
I don't know.
trash wants some pie.
Yes. So that's one of the cool things I think, just from an additional mechanic standpoint that I'm excited for.
So we'll go down to Wandertail Mentor. Green-red Raccoon Bard. It's a 2/2. Whenever you expand 4, put a +1/+1 counter on Wandertail Mentor. You expend 4 as you spend...
Because you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells during turn. Another cool new mechanic, I think.
This mechanic feels just like have fun.
Yeah.
Like you get something if you're playing Magic. It kind of not forces you to play. Yeah. But it's like rewarding you for doing more than just one
building an army and waiting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's only triggers on spells. So like abilities, it wouldn't trigger. So if you spend 4 mana for an ability, it doesn't trigger. But anyways, he also taps for red or green. So he's a mana dork that can get bigger if you're using him for mana.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I think from what I've seen anyway, I think there's going to be maybe not a core, but there's a lot of mechanics and a lot of things that the cards do from what I've seen that are going to be based on banding together, right? Like the whole theme of the cutesy set is like banding together to vanquish big evils and stuff like that. So Valley Quest Caller is an example of that. Whenever one or more, so non-tribe specific, whenever one or more other rabbits, bats, birds, and or mice you control enter scry 1, other rabbits, bats, birds, and mice you control get +1/+1. So I like that it is kind of tribal, but also
it's like
non-tribal.
Multi-tribe.
Yeah. Modal tribal? I don't know. But that seems cool.
It's also a warrior. So you can throw them into a warrior deck if you have a lot of rabbits, bats,
you do
birds.
Warrior tribal and sub-tribal, bands that stick together well.
Yeah. And that's pretty good. The 3-Tree City, I know we talked about it before, but there's alternate artworks for it, and just like the basic lands, they have them in the 4 different seasons, and they just look amazing. But 3-Tree City, again, enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, tap it for a colorless, or tap 2, tap it, choose a color, add an amount of mana equal to the creatures you control of the chosen type. So it's kind of like Nykthos for creature type, but this artwork It's just amazing.
It looks slick, yeah.
Oh, I like it.
One thing that I think
Shut your
is
mouth.
pretty cool about the offspring mechanic that we didn't really touch on is, from what I'm gathering from the video, Will can prove me wrong if he can. When you make an offspring, it has the same abilities. It's just a 1/1,
Yeah.
right?
It even has the mana cost.
Right. So Tender Wild Guide is something I'm pretty stoked for. A, it's a possum. B, B, C, D, I guess. It has Offspring 2. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Tap, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. This is A, great in a plus and counter deck, but B, like ramp all in it of itself. Right?
Yeah. It's a mana dork that makes another mana dork.
Yep.
That can get bigger. Both of them can get bigger.
No, 2-drop, I mean.
They can grow together.
Yeah. Whether you 2-drop and don't make an offspring, still great mana dork. You can put plus and counters on creatures pretty easily. 4, if you do pay the offspring cost and get 2 of them, is pretty decent.
I mean, you're not really losing anything.
No.
Paying 4 mana for 3 power, adding 2 counters, adding 2 mana, that's pretty decent.
Yep.
Then we have Stormcatch Mentor. Haste, Prowess, Instant and Sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast. It's a 1/1 for red and a blue. It's an Otter Wizard. It's an Instant and Sorcery reduction. It has Haste and Prowess itself. I have a feeling this is going to be in the Commander deck.
I would have to imagine so. Yeah. From a story perspective, the Otters were probably my favorite from a story perspective.
Yeah.
In that they kind of stay away from the other village area, and they're like storm chasers, basically.
They want to catch that high.
Yeah, they're like riding that lightning.
Yeah,
right? I mean, they're thrill chasers, which I thought, maybe I don't know enough about otters, but I thought was kind of a cool story behind the race, I guess, species. Thornvault Forager, what do you need to say about this squirrel, right? It's a 2-drop, 2/2, tap, add a green, tap, forage. So that new mechanic we were talking about, add 2 mana in any combination of colors. 3 green, tap, search your library for a squirrel card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Auto included anybody running Chatterfang, right? I know that you exist out there. There's plenty of you.
Yeah.
But
you know
solid squirrel support.
Trying to get through these. You want to do the seasons? There's only 4 of them.
Yeah.
So this is an incomplete cycle, but they have seasons. There's Season of Weaving, Season of the Bold, Season of Loss. I thought they had other 2. Oh, there's only 3 of them.
Those are the ones out so far, anyway, yeah.
But this one's kind of weird because it has choose up to 5 paws worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once.
It's cutesy modal.
It's
toe bean modal.
You got to choose the beans. The blue one, for 1 bean, draw a card. 2 beans, choose an artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of it. Or 3 beans, return each non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand. So it's like you could board wipe and then draw 2 cards.
You can choose up to 5 toe beans worth of modes, right? Yeah. So
it's a lot of beans.
It's a 6-drop, the Season of Weaving anyway. You play this and you can draw 5 cards.
Yeah.
You can draw a card,
make 2 copies of something.
Choose an artifact or creature you control, create a token, copy of it twice.
You could copy something and then return everything else.
I thought it was interesting that you can't do all of them. They give you it's just short of being able to actually choose all of the modes.
Yeah. But it's still toe beans.
Yeah.
Toe beans worth of stuff.
Pretty decent. The Season of the Bold one actually looks pretty sick from an artwork perspective. Season of Lost does as well. Less cutesy, which I'm all about. Yeah. Season of the Bold is a 5-drop, so 3 red. All these are sorceries, by the way.
Yep.
Choose up to 5 tokens worth of modes. You may choose the same mode more than once. So for 1, create a tap treasure token. Fantastic. We love treasure.
Yes.
2 toe beans. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play them. Fantastic. This card, for these 2 alone, has to go in Prosper toe mode.
I was going to say Jiri is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 3 toe beans, until the end of the next turn, whenever you cast a spell, Season the Bold deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature. Decent. I'm loving the Season of the Bold. I'm interested in what the white and green seasons will be, but we can talk about Seasonal Loss first.
Yeah. So 1 toe bean, each player sacrifices a creature. It itself costs 3 black, so it costs 5. For 2, draw a card for each creature you controlled that died this turn. And 3, each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. That is... I mean, pay 5. Everybody sacrifice 5 creatures?
Yeah.
That's insane. Or you could draw cards equal to the number of creatures you controlled that died twice.
Yeah.
Like somebody...
Seems decent.
Like you board wipe, and then you play this, and then you pick that twice, and then I guess
if green is not named Season of Growth, I'm going to start a petition. It's got to be. I don't know what else green would be. White, table. I'm not sure what white would necessarily be, but I'm eager to see both of those. The toe bean modal.
Yeah,
that aren't released yet.
I wonder what their beans are going to do.
Next up for me. I'm going to skip one because I know Will is going to talk about this one. Maha, it's Feathers Knight. So this is one of the Calamity Beasts. Elemental bird, 3 black. Has flying, has trample, has ward. Discard a card. Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1. And it's a 6/5. That's just mean.
That's...
Tiny Bones is going to be riding this owl into battle in my discard deck, I think.
No.
Was I right about what you wanted to talk about?
Oh, yeah. But no, the artwork, I think it's like the field research or whatever.
There's a lot of cool alts and extended artworks in this. Yeah, I forget exactly what they called this one. I think it's
like field research.
Beautiful.
But the Calamity Beast field research stuff is insane.
Yeah.
Like this, But yes, the one that I will be making as soon as it comes out is Moira, Trash Tactician, 1 red-green, legendary creature Raccoon Warrior. It's a 2/4. At the beginning of your first main phase, add red or green for each raccoon you control. Whenever you expand 4, you gain 4 life. Whenever you expend 4. Whenever you expend 8, exile the top 2 cards of your library until your next turn. You may play those cards. This just rule.
Raccoons are aggressive.
Yeah.
Their story was phenomenal as well too. Yeah. In terms of like, they're basically nomads that just roam around collecting trash. I mean, how can you not love that?
They just have teapots, and like she's got a fork. She's using it like Wolverine claws. It's great.
How can you not absolutely love that?
I do.
All right, a couple more here. Castrel, the Wind-Crested. So 3 white-blue legendary creature bird scout, 4/5, flying. Whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose 1. You may put a bird creature card from your hand or graveyard in the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Put a 1/1 counter on each bird you control, draw a card. Birds, for me, in this set specifically, seem interesting. Their backstory was pretty cool, too. They basically get, I don't know, knighted or whatever the animal version of knighted is, these birds, by going up to like these really high places, and when they return, they've got like a single feather on their head or something.
No, something like that.
I'm super impressed with the story in this set. It feels like sometimes it's a stretch for me in some of the sets that Wizards come out with, but this one I feel like
the world building is
impressive in this one.
It's really good. And the fact that everything gets animal shifted or whatever they called it in the story to a furry.
So there's a couple planeswalkers that we've seen that'll be in here. You've got Ral, he's an otter. You've got Tamio, she's a rabbit bunny. You've got Jace as a fox.
Nissa,
hilarious.
Nissa is a frog.
Yep.
And then Liliana is a squirrel. It looks like the planeswalkers are going to be in the commander decks, maybe. Don't quote me on that.
But I do like the animal shift. Basically, any planeswalkers that come to the plane get animal shifted,
get turned into.
Which I guess it's not all that dissimilar from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. They all got cowboy shifted.
That's true.
Hat, boots, we're cowboys now.
Furry outfit, you're a manimal.
Yep. Classes are coming back as well, which I thought was pretty interesting. So there's a couple different ones. They'll be up on the screen here. We don't need to go through all of them, but the classes seem cool and are tied to like specific villager abilities, right? Or talents within the village, right? So there's like what job they would have, right? Which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Again, the world building seems really on point.
Insane. Coming down to the end here, one of the cards fell. It's a sorcery, 1 and a black. Destroy target creature. That's all it says. Just
love it.
Yeah.
Artwork is sick. So we've got Owl Predator. Yep. Like that. I'm interested in Glarb, Calamity's Augur. So the frogs are like touched somehow in that they not physically touched in that they can kind of like see the future. Like from the video, you learn that
they have like a special kind of augury magic.
Yeah, and they're kind of, I don't know, morose or whatever because they know what's coming next or can see the end and stuff like that. The frog artwork seems cool. This frog wizard noble seems awesome. Death touch 2/4. You look at the top card of your library anytime you may play lands and cast spells with mana value 4 or greater from the top of your library. I can see this being great for a Calamity Beast commander.
Yeah, or like...
it's got some self-mill built in with a tap surveil too. So
it just helps get what you want on top of your library and what you want in your graveyard. Like,
you can see the top, play the top, and surveil within a single commander. So there's definitely good manipulation there.
You might go in Urok.
Yep.
I don't play these colors very much together.
Yeah, it's a color scheme that I like, that I want to like, right?
Yeah.
So like I've got a Zaxxera deck that's all Hydras.
I try to force it too hard.
I've got a Yarok deck. Yeah, I want to build a Nashi rat deck in those 3 colors. I don't know why I love the colors. I don't even necessarily love all that the colors do. I just like those 3 colors together appeal to me for some reason. So I will probably try my hand at that as best I can anyway.
Coming down to the end here, we have Alania, Divergent Storm, 3 blue-red, legendary creature, Otter Wizard. It's a 3/5. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's the first instant or sorcery, first instant spell, the first sorcery spell, or the first Otter spell, other than Alania, you've cast this turn. You may have target opponent draw a card. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So it's like a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah, that is a paragraph card for sure.
But if you want the copy, you have to give your opponent a card.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on what you're copying.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be worth it, right?
Yeah. But it's got to be the first instant, first sorcery, or first otter. So I guess if you play an instant, you can play a sorcery in the copy.
And then a first otter. Yeah.
I guess
not bad. There's some value there.
Yeah.
You just got to put the puzzle together right.
Yeah.
Pull out the right Jenga block so you don't tip the tower over.
Do your research.
For me, circling back around just one last time on the forage mechanic, we kind of talked about it. Corpseberry Cultivator is a good example of it, but just to spell it out exactly what it is, right? So when you forage, you exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food, is what the forage mechanic is. So as you cast spells at the beginning of combat, if criteria is specifically met on some of these cards, you have the ability to forage to additionally buff, or as an additional cost, play the spell you have to forage. and you get kind of these extra abilities. So the Corpseberry Cultivator is a 1, and a Gruul and a Gruul, so black, green, black, green, black or green, black or Golgari. Yeah, not Gruul.
Jesus.
The Gruul guy over here.
Get out of here.
About beat my face in with a broken teapot like a trash pan would.
I'll do it.
Whenever you forage, put a 1/1 counter on Corpseberry Cultivator is what you get for foraging. And you can do that at the beginning of your combat. This is a Squirrel Warlock specifically, but
forage seems pretty strong.
Seems pretty cool.
It seems really good.
Yeah.
Because you can exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food.
Yeah.
So you don't always have to be on like the food strategy. You can still do it.
And the foraging is tied very specifically to like animals that would do that. Squirrels, right? Squirreling away nuts for winter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point though. I mean, you do have an option. You're in green and black, so both of those options are pretty decent, right? You're probably going to have a graveyard, I would hope, or you're playing the colors wrong. So you can exile cards or sacrifice a food to kind of get that to play out. So I think that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm actually today the preview video that came out, again, go watch it on the official YouTube channel. Really kind of changed my mind about this set based on what I'd seen from the previews to now. So
it looks pretty fun. Like even in like the limited environment, I think this is going to be crazy bananas. It's going to be fun.
Crazanas.
Banzy?
Bonanzy?
Bonanzy?
I like Bonanzy.
It's going to be Bonanzy.
It rolls off the tongue a little bit better. All right. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see our Commander gameplay videos. We'll probably be doing a few more of these videos as more is spoiled for this set, and also Duskmoor, and I'm super excited for that. You guys will see that in a couple weeks. The opposite of this set from an artwork and mechanics perspective.
Just a feel.
The feel is very different. This is like you wake up from a dream and you're in Duskmoor, hell on plane.
You go from a dream to a nightmare?
Go from a dream to a nightmare. I like that.
Deep
All right, guys.
Testing.
Take it easy.
See ya.
Appreciate it.